Hello. Okay, so we're going to review ordering fractions and decimals, and I'm going to complete this assignment that we did last week. So you will need to have a piece of paper and pencil to do this with me, and then after we're through with this, you will play a Kahoot game, and then you will take a fractions to decimals test. Let's see, I'm writing all these down. Okay, and we're going to do these least to greatest. Okay. So I'm going to put that up here so I don't forget. All right, so I have to convert 3 of these. A couple of them, I feel like they're pretty easy and we're not going to have to convert. We're going to have to divide. 1/3 should be one that we have memorized, and that is 33 hundredths. Okay, I have 37, that's 8. I'm going to put a 0 there to remind myself that I can see that as money. And then 5 and 33 hundredths, I have that there. And then 3/4 might be the one that you need to divide. So let's come down here and let's divide 4 into 3. We add our decimal and 2 zeros, bring your decimal up. 4 will go into 3 no times, but 4 will go into 30 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. And if you subtract that, that is going to be 2. Bring down here 0. 4 goes into 20. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay? All right, so now we have everything converted, and we're ready to put these in order from least to greatest. So looking at my decimals to try to find which one is the smallest, well, that's going to be 1/3. Okay, we only use the decimal for ourselves. So when we put our answer, you want to make sure you put whatever form it was given to us. So we put the fraction form back. Then we've got 37 hundredths. That was a decimal given to us, so we just used that. Then we're going to have 3/4 because it was 75 hundredths. Then 8/10 was what the decimal that they gave to us. And then 5 and 1/3. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put these in order from least to greatest. So my smallest is 1/3. Then I've got 37 hundredths. Oops. These are hard to maneuver. All right, and then 75 hundredths, which will be this. And then 8/10, which is this. And then 5 and 1/3. Okay, so that is least to greatest. Let's move on. All right. I'm going to write this down. 4/10, 1/2, 6/8, 75 hundredths, and 2/3. Okay, and this is least to greatest as well. Put that right here. All right. So the 1/2, we do not need to work that out. We should know that 1/2 is 5/10. That should be one that you have memorized. Okay. But then I have 6/8 and 2/3. So I'm going to use this space right here to divide. So 6/8, 6 goes in the box, 8 goes on the outside, add a decimal and 2 zeros, bring up your decimal. 8 goes into 6 0 times, 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. When you subtract that, that is going to be 4. Bring that 0 down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. And we're done there. Okay. 2/3. 2/3. Let's go on and divide that in case you have not memorized that. Put your decimal and 2 zeros. Bring up your decimal. Okay. 3 goes into 2 0 times. 3 goes into 20 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. And that is 2 left over. 3 will go into 20 6 times. And this is a repeating fraction. So I would stop right there. And you are done. Okay. Now, I'm going to, well, we can go into it here. All right. So my smallest, I'm doing least, my smallest fraction is, or decimal, is 4/10. Then I've got 1/2. Then 2/3. Now I have two 7500ths. It doesn't matter which one you put first because they are the same. Okay. All right. Let's go back to our. So 4th was the smallest. Well, this is pretty much in order almost. Okay. So 1/4, 1/2, 2/3, 6/8. Oops. 7500ths. Okay. All right, moving on. All right, this one looks like a little harder because it does have those whole numbers in there, and that can be a little tricky. So 5 3/10, 5 1/2, 4 6, 16 20ths, and 1/5. Okay. And that was, I believe that was greatest to least. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to put greatest to least so we don't forget. And when I'm converting these, 5 1/2 is 5 and 0.5, so we don't have to do anything there. 1/5 should be one that we have memorized, and 1/5 is 2/10. But we can throw a 0 on the end of that so it looks like change, same thing as we can do there. And then 1600ths is one that we need to divide. Now, I'm going to say something with 1600ths because, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, 1600ths needs to be in its simplest form to make it easier on us to divide. And what I mean by that is that you need to take 16 out of 20. You need to divide that to simplify it. And we'll again talk about this tomorrow. But what you do is you think about what these numbers have in common. 4 would be a good number to divide these by. And if you divide both sides by 4, 16 divided by 4 is 4, 20 divided by 4 is 5. You get a smaller fraction, the reduced fraction, and that way it's a little easier to work with to divide. But again, we'll talk about simplifying tomorrow. 5 goes into 4 no times, 5 goes into 48 times. Okay, bring down your 0, 5 will go into 0 times. So this one is 8/10, and throw a 0 on there. All right, so greatest to least, we're looking for the biggest number, and that's going to be 5 1/2. All right, and now we're looking for 5 3/10, 4 6/10, 16 over 20, and 1/5. All right, going back, I need 5 1/2. That's the largest one. And then 5 1/3. And then 4 6/10, 16 20ths, and 1/5. With these, sometimes before you try to pull it, you've got to make sure that little 4 arrows comes up before you're able to pull it. Okay, good job. And the last thing, and you will see this tomorrow, or not tomorrow, today. You're going to have to, so this is a base 10 block, right? And this is 100ths, right? And when you're looking at this fraction, this circle graph, it's a fraction of 1/4, right? And so what is 1/4 equivalent to? What decimal is 1/4 equivalent to? Well, 1/4 is equivalent to 2500ths. So you're going to take this little green, well, you should have when you do this, and you're going to put it in there 25 times because that would mean that it was 2500ths. Okay. When you take your test, you are going to see one that does that. that you're going to have to pick. So you look at the fraction that they give you, and this shaded part is 1/4 of the circle, and 1/4 as a decimal is 25 hundredths. So you shade in this hundredths block 25 times, which may take a little bit, and I am not doing a very good job of this. I'm almost there. There's almost 20. All right, there's 20. And here we go, 25. So 25 hundredths. Okay. And that is how you do that. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on your test. And please make sure you work out each fraction equivalent, and you can use your notebook if you need to. Bye.